How's it going, everyone? Today we are taking a look at the Nokia 2720, and I'm really excited about this device because it's cost effective and it has good features, but it does go back in a couple of areas, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But first, let's take a look at the hardware of the device. It's actually very good for $19 to $29, depending if you get the track phone version or you get the straight talk version. By the way, I recommend that you get the track phone version because it does have an SD card, whereas the straight talk version, which looks exactly the same, does not. So make sure to get the one with an SD card, which is kind of odd that the one that costs less has more features and the one that costs more has less features. So that is that. But it does have a 5 megapixel camera. It's actually very good. I'm going to be showing samples today. Just one sample is enough to show you the difference. And you will see, wow, that's amazing. You also have the power button, the volume rockers, and you have USB-C right here and a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. The placement is a little bit odd, but it does get the job done. It uses a nano SIM and it works with TracFone or Straight Talk Wireless. And after 60 days, it will get unlocked so you can use it with other carriers. I'll probably provide an update on a live stream about which carriers work and which do not. But it's always about the software, right? With KaiOS. The keys are not amazing to finish some of the hardware, and the screen is passable. As you see, that's kind of like a reflection for the sun, and it's not amazing, but it's passable. I mean, for $19 to $29, come on. We're not expecting super amazing quality. It does get the job done. It does get plenty bright, and you won't have much issues. But the software has always been a mix back with KaiOS, and this isn't amazing. It doesn't have bloatware. The only two bloatware apps that I can see are Snake, which I wouldn't consider bloatware because, again, it's a game and it's not super addictive, and YouTube. But besides that, everything is useful. It has a camera, it has alarms, it has the basics, file manager, Kai Weather, news. Maybe you can consider that bloatware. And then you can install applications. I've installed PodLP and KMusic as my favorite applications for KaiOS, but everything else works. You have calls, you have text messages, and let me show you a couple of things with the text messages because the experience has improved. This is the step forward for KaiOS. So if you go here, new, let's put any phone number right here. And let's put a so SMS, let's put a secondary phone number. Whenever you enter that, it creates an automatic group text message. And this has been a pain point for KaiOS for a long time. And I'm really glad that they finally fixed this. So version 3.1 of KaiOS for the Nokia 2760, it will probably not come to other KaiOS devices, but from now on, we will see this feature on hopefully all KaiOS devices that are released, which I'm really excited. Group text messages supported natively. I'm going to just don't show that again. Click OK. And I'm going to type something like I, doesn't default to that, can't. This one does default with the proper apostrophes. I can't go to school. There you go. Or I forgot to put go in there in this one, but I can into school. Go. Let's go here, right there. And that's how T9 works. But if you don't like T9, which is enabled by default, again, another step in the right direction, you can switch it to ABC, the different modes out there, 1, 2, 3, or predictive. But predictive is automatic, and you don't have to be messing around with the different things, which is amazing. It does have a browser. And again, this is KaiOS version 3.1, so it's way more reliable. After, the last week that I've been testing this, it's actually very good. It's not going to win any awards by speed, but it will get the job done if you really need to look for something real quick. It does not have, at least the Straight Talk Wireless version, the one that I bought, the one that that they sent me, not Nokia, but Walmart when I purchased it, does not have a KaiOS Kaiva assistant as the TCL Flip Pro. And I was not able to find it in the store, even though these things kind of change all the time. So, you have all of these different apps, even Wordle right there. And you have the education apps, social apps. Doesn't have WhatsApp yet. So that is another bummer. So a couple of steps back, like I said, And the main steps back are not, I'm not talking about these apps available or not, but I'm talking about something else. And we'll get to that in just a second. But you don't have the Kaiva sadly available on this device. And that's a bummer because, well, it's nice to have some assistant for texting. It's easier. The clickiness is not that amazing, but it's not available. Maps do work and they will lock your position. Not only that, but you're able to search it quick. Still no directions, automatic directions like from point A to point B. You'll be able to see a list of directions, but you will not be able to get turn by turn. But you have the ability to find most of the information and is available to you. And if not, you're also able to use the browser. You have email. Again, I recommend with any KaiOS device, just keep it to the basics, calls, text messages, and maybe an app or two. Don't use everything. But it works really well. The step backwards for KaiOS on version 3.1, which I think they can fix because they had it available before, is that it doesn't have VoIP Wi-Fi, so no voice over Wi-Fi, at least on this unit right here. And also, it doesn't have, as far as I'm able to tell, it does not have the ability to hotspot. So it's a little bit of, again, those are the two steps back. No VoIP Wi-Fi and no hotspot, which a lot of people use. So not having those things available kind of sucks, to be honest, but it may depend on the device, and hopefully other KaiOS 3.1 devices will have it, and maybe Nokia will be able to fix this. But they are listening, and that is something that I can tell you that is getting better. They're listening to the feedback, so let's keep giving them feedback. I'll be showcasing a couple of the images, one of the images that was taken especially by a community member. And again, let's keep giving them feedback because now finally KaiOS is heading in the right direction with getting feedback. Look, no bloatware whatsoever, just useful apps and maybe a couple things here or two like YouTube. You cannot uninstall it, but you don't have to use it all the time. You don't have to use it at all if you don't want, and you can move it from this location and put it all the way out of sight, out of mind, right? But KaiOS is heading in the right direction, and you have a very good competitor here against most of the smart devices. And of course, if you still need some connectivity with other things, you can use it on KaiOS 3.1. So I'm really excited to where KaiOS is heading. And if you have any questions or anything about this device or any of the other devices, make sure to put it in the comments below. I'll be interacting with you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, which probably will be the Mudita Pure review. Maybe in about next week or so, where I finalize most of my tests. So if you have any questions or anything, just let me know. And I'll be doing a live stream hopefully on Thursday to talk a little bit more about what I've found with the Mudita Pure and other devices. But that's it. See you in the next video.